Well, hello, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Once talking films were invented, musicals became this top selling genre. Even before talking films, by the way, they had operas, of course, and operettas, and songs were popularized for how they fit into life. Well, movies even now sometimes will cause characters to break out into song. When I was in high school, there was a blockbuster hit, Grease was it, and there's a greaser, this guy named Danny Zuko, played by John Travolta, and he was like the whole slicked back hair greaser look. And then some student named Sandy Olsen transferred in from Australia. The student was Olivia Newton-John, and they have this summer fling and proclaim their love for each other with this song, You're the One That I Want. And that song went on to be a number one hit, certified platinum, sold over 2 million copies. Now, there are some things in life that make you want to sing, and that's not a recent phenomenon. If you go back all the way to the Old Testament book of Zechariah, in Zechariah, this is a book that's written when the people of God have returned from captivity back into Judah. And Zechariah says, "Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion." But the reason God tells him to sing is because God says, "I will dwell in your midst." That's Zechariah 2:10. Some things are worth singing about, and God being present in your life is one of those things. And this is written to people whose parents and grandparents had been sent into captivity. And God says, you're going to see a huge reversal. Instead of you being booted from the land, you're being brought back to the land. And I'm going to be in your midst. Anytime God is in our midst, it's a profound moment, and it can be a moment to sing. But what I find really interesting about this passage is the very next verse. The very next verse, Zechariah says, or a couple of verses later, it's verse 13. Zechariah says, "Be silent." Hebrew word hus, like hush. "Be silent, all flesh, before the Lord, because he's roused himself from his holy dwelling." There's a time to sing. But like the other side of the coin, the flip side of the coin, sometimes there's a time to be silent and to watch. It's God has roused himself from his dwelling. That's in Hebrew, it's a aspect of a verb called the nifal, which means God's done this with himself. God's on the move. There are some times when God's in our midst and it should break us out in song. There's other times where we should be ready to watch quietly in awe and respect as God is on the move. And so when God's moving in a special way, it's not always the time to sing. Sometimes it's a time to focus and be attentive to what God is about. So there's a time to sing and a time to be in awe. And those two both involve God in our lives. With God in your heart and God in your midst, you can sing, but when God is on the move, you might also want to just be quiet and watch. You figure that out for you today. I'm just giving it to you in your video thought for the day.